I thought he was joking, but when a man like Ray says something like that, he's not trying to be funny. It was a Thursday night, past 9. The streetlights hummed low and my porch light flickered like a warning. I'd just left the HOA meeting where Martin, the self-declared president, had proudly announced a new neighborhood security initiative. That meant surveillance, curfews, and mandatory compliance inspections. I stood by my truck when Ray leaned out of the HOA Guard car, its amber light washing over the asphalt. He said quietly, "Don't go home tonight, Cole. Just don't." My hand froze on the door handle. "What do you mean?" I asked. He looked around like the street had ears. "They're doing something at your house." I didn't see what, but it's not an inspection. Then he drove off before I could ask another word. When I turned the corner toward my block, I saw them, 3 silhouettes in reflective vests. One by the door, one by my garage, one behind the house. Flashlights cutting through my windows. I parked 2 streets away and walked back on foot. My heart hammered like a ticking clock. I recorded everything on my phone from the shadows, the drills, the laughter, the moment one man pried open my back gate. They weren't city workers. They were HOA board members. By the time they left, my house looked untouched. But the next morning, I found the camera over my back porch gone. The wires were cleanly snipped. That's when I decided to do what I do best: collect evidence and wait. They wanted control. I wanted proof. For the next week, I pretended to comply. I waved at them during their patrols. I smiled at Martin during his fake neighborly walks. But at night, I installed 3 hidden cameras, one in the mailbox, one in the porch light, one in the birdhouse overlooking the street. By Friday, I had everything. The footage showed them sneaking in, replacing my water meter, installing listening devices under my siding. They weren't enforcing rules. They were spying on homeowners who questioned their budget spending. I sent one clip to Ray. 2 days later, he called. "You didn't hear it from me, but the sheriff's looking into HOA embezzlement." When the raid came, it was almost quiet. Sheriff Hayes led officers down our perfect street. They didn't kick doors. They knocked. One by one, they collected boxes of documents, computers, phones. Martin was still in his slippers when they cuffed him. He looked around, expecting sympathy from the neighbors who once feared him. Nobody said a word. By the time the sun rose, the HOA sign was already coming down. Ray stood near his patrol car, hands in his jacket pockets. "Told you not to go home that night," he said, almost smiling. I nodded. "Yeah, you did." Now every time I pass the empty HOA office, I can still hear the sound of drills from that first night. But now, it's followed by something better. Silence. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just watches quietly, through a camera you built yourself. If you've ever seen the truth hiding behind a smile, type victory.